If it hurts, you ain't breaks, no hits, you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, through the game, tap, this win it. Rest you again, here for the first mate. Can everybody keep it there for 6 minutes?
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man, and I'm saying, woo, right here.
If you're not of the mindset going into this thing, anyone, anywhere, anytime, then you're just there to have a cup of coffee anyway. So this is a highly competitive group. We'll play where we play, we'll play who we play, and let's go put the ball down.
We've got to raise the bar, and we've got to continue to raise the bar. I don't think any of those young men, when they signed to come to Tennessee, they signed to say they wanted to come and be a part of a 7-6 program. They said they wanted to come and compete for championships, SEC championships, national championships. I know that's what I want. I know that's what Tennessee wants. I know that's what the expectation is. So we've got to continue to reassess everything that we're doing and make sure that we're continuing to move the needle in the right direction.
Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. Who got my back? I got your back. We play for another. We fight for another. Every fight, every play, every round. Hey, Tennessee on 2. 1, 2. Tennessee. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready. Ready. Ball, that team ready.
Make the decision. You're either a Vol or you're not, through thick and thin.
But you know what? Let's talk a little Vols. That is not me trying to take any shine away from the phenomenal channel Talkin VAWLS that my guy Boogie Bentley runs, so shout out to them. But let's talk a little Vols here.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. We got a lot to get into tonight. It's going to be a fun show. I don't even know what day of the week it is. I don't know what time it is. It feels like it's Monday morning at 9 o'clock. We got Locked On Talkin VAWLS. I put it in the chat. There's a poll in the chat. You guys decide. You guys pick what we're going to do on tonight's show. Kaner's going to hang out for about 30 minutes. We're going to talk about this Ohio State game. We've not watched Josh Heupel's press conference yet. That's what I usually do on Monday morning. But hey, it's a Monday morning on a Wednesday night. So you guys can vote. Do you want me, Darby, the X Factor, and good old Nate Pruitt to talk ball and talk ball only? Do you want to only watch Heupel's press conference with commentary? Or do you want to stay live all night long and do both? The choice is yours and yours alone. You guys being very generous tonight. Todd Landers drops a $2 super chat, says, Dorothy, take my money, Boogie. I'm not using it. Well, I mean, I'll take it. If you need somewhere to keep it, you want me to take care of it, I'll gladly take care of it. I could probably find something to do with it. I mean, for $2, you may be able to get a ticket to the college football playoff game coming up on Saturday if things continue trending the way they are. Big Trace here drops a $2 super chat, says, Door fee, Let's freaking go. Peyton K drops 5. Says Dorfy, I appreciate the Dorfies. I appreciate you guys supporting this channel. So shout out Peyton K. Retro, the SEC. Oh, God. I don't. Really? Is that how we're starting the show? Retro, the SEC champ. That's how. He dropped a $2 super chat. He says, OHIO. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. Retro confirming my beliefs. Good old Nate Pruitt's in the house, drops a $10 super chat, says cover charge, Boogie. Howdy, Caner. Howdy, Vols fam. God bless. And go Vols. Well, there's no better way to introduce Caner than good old Nate Pruitt. So thank you, Nate, for the introduction. Let's do it.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I almost said good morning. Good evening, Caner. What's going on, man? It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Yeah. Good evening, man. It's kind of snuck up on us, right? I mean, it's not only game week, man. We're just a couple days away now, so we're about to have football time. Not in Tennessee, but apparently Neyland North there's going to be football time there, so that's exciting.
That's what I'm hearing. That's what man, it does. Like, I think it's the chaos, and we're going to talk about the transfer portal right out of the gate, but I think it feels like because of the chaos of the portal, it doesn't feel like we're playing a football game on Saturday. It feels like everything is about the transfer portal. Let's start with the portal. We'll kind of talk about it. Let's start with Wendell Moe Jr., committed earlier this morning, 6'2", 339-pound interior offensive lineman. What are your thoughts about Wendell Moe Jr. and how he could possibly fit into this team next year? Of course, we got Andres Carrick looking for that waiver. Where do you think he fits into this thing?
Learned earlier today that's Wendell Moy, like Jackson Moy. So there's, even though it looks like Mo, but I've been told by someone that Austin Price, who's closer to it than I am, that it's Moy. So there we go.
Oh, as much like he looks like a Mo.
I mean, it literally looks MOE, Mo. But yeah, I mean, this is Tennessee again. It's you kind of said like it feels like because the transfer portal swirling and everything that we're not talking about playoffs. Well, keep in mind, like every year up until this year, like Tennessee fans didn't care about the playoffs, right? Because Tennessee went into the playoffs, so it's all about transfer portal. Every team in the country outside of 12 teams is in that mindset right now. And even for Tennessee, with that, you're going after non-sexy positions, right? And so you're going after interior offensive line, interior defensive line, and that's just not moving the needle, right? But you need help there because you're losing 3 defensive tackles or 4 defensive tackles. You're losing. Andre Carrick right now, we'll see if he wins his appeal. Javonte Spraggins, Jackson Lampley, and Wendell Moy is a guy that has played a lot of football. His experience, he was a second-team All Pac-12 in 2023 as a redshirt freshman. Played a whole lot of football and met with the staff, met with the players. Likes the scheme, likes the fit. Tennessee needs help, and so it's kind of like a copy and paste. We've been here, done that. Andre Carrick, very similar situations a couple years ago, and we'll see what happens. So you got an interior guy. You need, we'll see if Tennessee takes another interior guy. I know the Northwestern guard was on campus earlier today, and we'll see what happens with that one. But Tennessee obviously looking at some defensive tackles as well.
Yeah, I saw where Hubs put out an update like shortly right before we went live talking about the visit from Josh Thompson from Northwestern. You had 3 guys on campus over the weekend, but like you said, it's interior offensive linemen, it's defensive linemen. It's not the big flashy wide receivers that everybody wants. And, I've talked a lot on this channel about there was an article from On3 and they said Tennessee was going to be a big spender. So you see that from your boss basically at On3, you start looking at where is Tennessee going to spend this money. Let's talk about the portal losses though. Then we'll come back to what you think about the transfer portal and where we go.
Real quick, where are you going to spend that money? It's hard to cut you off. And I mean Tennessee will sign other guys. Don't get me wrong, but so much of this is roster retention. And that's a big portion of it with Tennessee right now. I mean. I'm not going to act like I know the specifics for every single player, but if you're a good player, you had a good year. If you have representation that is doing their job, they're going to say we need more money. That's just the nature of the business, right? And that's why it's so frustrating because like when you're in the NFL, you're on a contract and you got holdouts and stuff because they think they need to make more and all that. But this year it's every single year you're wanting more. So that's where a lot of this money's going, not necessarily for Tennessee, but just in general is roster retention. And Tennessee's obviously set to bring back a lot of guys. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, we can just continue that conversation because I was having this exact conversation with Culberson, who's in the chat right now. Like we were talking about it earlier today, and I'm saying what nobody wants to look at is look at the roster. Like you've got a lot of talent coming back, and you have to manage that talent. And you've got guys that at any moment can come forward and say, hey, I want more money. But on the flip side of that, and again, I'm not in these conversations. I don't know. This is speculation. But on the flip side, Josh Heupel and his coaching staff is going to go to players and say, hey, we signed you. We recruited you. You were a top 100 player. Now you're not playing like a top 100 player. So if you're going to stay on this roster, we're going to offer you less. So those guys are now faced with a choice. Do we stay or do we go? So let's bleed that into the guys that have gone. Tennessee's lost Bison Lang, Caleb Webb, Khalifa Keith, Jalen Smith, Jordan Matthews, Chaz Nimrod, Nathan Laycock, Nate Spillman, Cam Selden. You rattle off those names. Not a whole lot of concern for me, but anybody in that list that's gone into the portal with a college football, forget college football, you got a shot at a national championship. Anybody on that list surprise you?
I mean, it's just a different era, man. And like, I'm not going to act like I'm 1,000 years old, but I mean, I'm old enough to where, you know, when I was younger, it wasn't like this. I mean, you have a chance to win a national championship, and you have a guy that plays linebacker for you that's, you know, averaged 26 snaps a game since Keenan Peely's injury. That's going in the transfer portal. And I'm not, I mean, there's guys all around the country, right? I mean, the Penn State backup quarterback is going in the transfer portal, and you have James Franklin coming out there saying, hey, I don't blame him. Like, I don't blame him at all. I mean, you have the backup quarterback at Ohio State, Ryan Day, is saying, well, he's going to try to sit here and finish this, but he's also going to be missing some time and going on visit here, visit there. It's just, it's weird, man. It's weird. So, I mean, that, for me, I mean, as a competitor, again, everybody's got to watch out for themselves, and I understand that. I'm not hating on that, but it's just, it's weird. Like I mean, they were given the option to play, right? And it's like, if I'm a competitor and I'm a teammate, it'd be hard for me not to finish this season. And sure, you might not be playing as much as you want to, or not in the situation you want to be in. But I mean, you started this journey in January, and you're on the brink of the first year ever of the college football playoff. So Jalen Smith might have surprised me just a little bit. Chaz Nimrod, of course, those are immediate, concerns in terms of depth. But I mean, overall, I wish those guys well. I like Caleb Webb a lot. I like Chaz Nimrod. I like Jalen Smith. I think they can play, probably can play at another opportunity somewhere else a little bit more and have a bigger role. So we'll see about those guys. Overall, like in terms of from start to finish of their Tennessee career, Jordan Matthews, man, I thought he was going to be a stud. Wish him well, but I thought he was going to be an absolute stud. Obviously, it just never panned out here, and Ricky Gibson passed him almost immediately. You go to the transfer portal and get not one, but two guys last year. I think that kind of says all you need to know about, where they thought the depth was at the cornerback position. So, I guess all I can say is it's just a different time. It's a weird time, but it's not just in Tennessee. It is all over the place.
Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. Louisiana ball for two. Eric, use my tweet. Wait, what?
He sent me a tweet the other day showing how many minutes he listened to Locked On Vols, and it said, do you think that's enough? And I responded, I don't think it's enough at all. I mean, is that it?
Either.
Like, come on.
I don't either. I mean,
it was a lot. Hundreds of that.
What is that, like on a podcast app? Is that what tracks it or something?
I mean, it was Spotify, right? Like the end of the year rap or whatever. I think it gives some okay, dynamics.
Oh yeah, I see people on Instagram posting that. I'm like, I only got Spotify to listen to Rogan. Now Rogan's back on YouTube, and I'm not a Spotify fan. But if I was, I would listen to Locked On Vols. I would be an everydayer. Vol fan 25 for 10 says Tennessee will get it done no matter what. GBO, let's show the suck eyes. I think he means what we're made of. Thank you, Vol fan 25. Appreciate the support, brother. Jim Slagle for 2. Waiting on Saturday with Talkin Vols. GBO. Shout out, Jim. Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, we'll do a tailgate show an hour before kickoff. We'll be live immediately following the game. I'll be over on Locked On Vols Friday morning, and then me, Coach Jay, Coach Rice, going to go live Friday morning at 10 o'clock. So make Locked On Vols your first listen, and then jump over here at 10 a.m. and we'll go live and get you guys ready for kickoff. Just one last thing on the portal, then we'll talk about this Ohio State game. You mentioned like it's just college football in 2024. Probably one of the biggest things I see regularly in the comments is we got to fix the system. The system is broken, right? Kids have to look out for their best interest. I agree with that 1,000%. Jalen Smith is who was it? Was it the Penn State? I think it was the Penn State backup quarterback that said, I'm in an impossible situation. I can either go play with my team in the playoff, or if I want to get enrolled and participate in spring camp and have a shot at my next destination, I've got to go now. Like, what's the answer? I saw somebody say, start the season a month earlier. Because, look, school starts at Tennessee. Classes start the day after the national championship. That's not enough time. I don't know that there is an answer. Do you have you got something for me? Because I have no answer to fix this.
No, I was just going to give another shout out to Louisiana Vols. Said he listens every day to work, 45-minute drive. He's the man, so I appreciate you, dude. I mean, there's no fix, right? I mean, you had in terms of like name, image, and likeness, like you had years upon years upon years to set up guardrails or to get prepared for this, and the NCAA did nothing, and so that's running wild. But the transfer portal, and that's what we're talking about right now. I mean, like I mentioned on the VolQuest podcast, like the month of December is so bad. Like they moved signing day up to the beginning of the month, which helps a little bit. And like that's not even the biggest factor in this whole situation. But I would move signing day, put it in August, and have it in February. That's what I would do first and foremost. In terms of fixing the transfer portal, man, I don't know, because the expanded playoffs are not going anywhere. They're only going to get bigger. Do you do away with the winter transfer portal window and just say, okay, well, we'll only have one window. It's in the spring, and you can only transfer to a new team in the summer and get ready to go. Is that enough time? I mean, I don't know. It's tough, man. I mean, what was the name? Is it Malik Murphy or what? The former Texas quarterback, Duke quarterback. I think he's back in the portal again, but he was the backup quarterback for Texas last year. The same situation as Penn State. And it's like, well, you know, I've got to go and I've got to take these visits and I got to have these conversations and I don't have time. It's just, I don't know, man. I would move signing day. Thank God the COVID stuff's going to be over with in terms of the COVID seniors and all that. That's one less thing to worry about. But in terms of the window, I would shrink the window down. I would start it maybe the first of the year, because really you only have to get in there before that ad drop date. Like you don't want to set a precedent for saying, okay, well, you can miss the first 3 weeks of school or whatever, but the ad drop date is when you have to be in by. And so maybe if you open it up on January the 1st and close it on January the 15th, and maybe that'll help a little bit. It would certainly help for bowl games, I would assume, right? You wouldn't have like teams like Marshall, you know, not being able to play in a bowl game. But point of the matter is, I'm talking in circles here. I have no clue. I mean, this is a horrendous problem, but I don't see it getting any better this time next year.
I like that. The window being shorter in January, because two, you're eliminating teams by that point, right? You've already played the first 2 rounds of the college football playoff. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden you're in the semifinals. You going to jump in the portal real quick, or you going to go play for a national championship? So I think, they just have to figure something out. Let me continue to catch up with you guys. Michael Davis for 10. Cold weather and 2 good defenses make me think we could see a 13-10 type of game. Honestly,
Ohio State does not want 13-10 again. They'd run away from that, right?
Oh, is that the exact score of the Michigan game?
I believe so.
I love it. I'm here for it. Foul me for 5. Y'all think Tennessee having a late spring enrollment date could help Tennessee get transfer players that want to play with their team in the playoffs? Possibly. The classes start, the 21st, and the championship's on the 20th, I think it is. Foul me was who I was having the conversation with about the portal earlier today.
Whereas Ohio State starts like on the 6th.
Yeah, it's early. I couldn't believe how early it was. Yeah. Tim Williams for 5. Let's soak this in. 5 years ago, we lost to Georgia State, and we were a dumpster fire. Now we're in the first round of the college football playoff. GBO Wade Rouse for 5. Wade's got the tattoo of the Talkin VAWLS network logo on his person. Says, go Vols, biggest game since 98 or 2001 SEC championship. What's y'all's thoughts? I was just a baby for both, so this is the biggest game of my life. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than 98. 98's the national championship, but 2001,
you win that game, you go. You go.
Right.
So 01.
Yeah, 01. I mean, 98, it's like you're in it. You're in it. But, yeah, biggest game.
Or Georgia 22, you win that game, you're going to the SEC championship.
Georgia this year, you win
Georgia,
that game.
That's what I'm saying. Like Georgia, somebody said
but
somebody
01, you're in the natty. You win that SEC championship, you're playing for a national championship.
Yeah, I agree. 01 would be my answer. Like somebody said, this is the biggest game since, and I was like, Georgia, like a month ago, because you win that game, you're in the championship, you're competing for an SEC champ. You win that game, you pretty much locked up your spot in the playoffs at that point with a month ago.
Sam Schrock for 5 says ESPN listed their top 50 players in the college football playoff. Nico wasn't in it. Had Cam Skabu above Dylan Sam. Who is Cam Skabu? I clearly don't watch other teams enough.
He's not Oklahoma State. Sorry, he's the Arizona State running back, I believe.
Well, that would be exactly why I don't know who that is. Above Dylan Sampson, they're going to be proved wrong. GBO Coach Rice for 5. Transfer portal should only be open in the spring, unless a coach leaves and shorten the window, like Kaner said, even with coaches leaving. The argument there is always going to be the players want that. They want to go through spring camp, right? They want that opportunity to compete. So I don't know. Wade Rouse for another 2. Feel like this year, every week is the biggest game. Yeah, that's true too.
And that's why the expanded playoffs have been so much fun, right? And There were some people that said it's going to devalue the regular season, and I'm not gonna hate on you for that because we just didn't know. We never saw it before, but what we learned is that absolutely not. I mean, you had games of must-win games at the end of November, right? I mean, sign me up for that. Like, I think this football season has been one of the most enjoyable, fun seasons. I know Tennessee's 10-2, I get that, but it's been so much fun just scoreboard watching late games. I mean, that Saturday, and again, Tennessee had a cupcake game against UTEP, and it was at noon. You just get back to the house and you just watch everything transpire.
Yeah.
That was about as fun of a college football day I've had in quite some time.
Yeah, like there's so many times it's like I just watched Tennessee, then I do research for the team they're playing, but it's like I felt like I had to watch every SEC game, and it was fun, man. And I think it's a combination of the college football playoff, but it's also NIL and the transfer. As much as everybody hates it, it's given us great college football on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I think it is really bringing parity to college football. And yeah, it sucks. It's tough for you guys that are covering this thing from a media perspective to try to give, those inside scoop to us diehard, psychotic, passionate fans that want to know what's going on at all times. And it's tough, man, because money can change everything like that. Let's talk about this freaking Ohio State game. Jamie Roberts been a member for 28 months. Wow. Check out that. You're right, Jamie. You're right. I appreciate you, brother. Let's jump over. Let's talk about Ohio State. I think for me, there's a couple of keys here. Let's start with this. And then we'll get into the keys that I wanted to talk about. A lot of people are like throwing it out there that Ohio State, their record against SEC in bowl games, and then they're pointing out even Ryan Day, right? 2021 loss to Alabama, 52-24. 2022 loss to Georgia, 42-41. 2023 loss to Missouri, 14-3. People want to make a big deal out of this. It's different now, though. We're not talking about bowl games. We're not talking about a 14 playoff. We're talking about a 12-team expanded college football playoff. This is not a bowl game. This is a true road game. How much do you think going on the road? And once I get the boys on here and Kaner rotates off, we're going to talk about all this ticket drama. But how much this is a true road game? How much do you think it factors in that Tennessee is going on the road?
I think it's a huge factor. Huge factor. I mean, the NCAA is going to allow Tennessee to have an entrance video and all that. I mean, that's cool. They do the same thing in super regionals and regional play for baseball and all that. But I mean, you're still playing at a visiting venue. You're still going to be outnumbered. I know Tennessee fans are buying up tickets and that's awesome. You're still going to be outnumbered. It's still going to be a road game. You're still playing at night. You're still playing away from Neyland Stadium where Tennessee struggled at points in time. So you're still getting out of your routine, and you're not only getting out of your routine, but you're going to a new place as well where outside of Andre Turrentine, I would assume the majority of Tennessee's players, especially the ones that were recruited to Tennessee, has not played before. Is it make or break? No, absolutely not. I mean, in the day, it's football. Go out there and play. But yeah, I mean, the fact that this is a true road game is a big deal. And it would be a big deal if this game was at Neyland Stadium. You best believe it for sure. But I mean, that's one of the most things I'm loving about this playoff. I can't wait to watch these games this weekend. Tennessee's the last one, so we get to watch a ton. One on Friday night, the three before on Saturdays. So I'm looking forward to that. But as far as like that's a storyline. I know you're probably gonna ask about the weather. I think that's overblown, but in the same sense, it's going to be cold. It's going to be cold. There are Ohio. Last time I checked, Ohio didn't recruit just the state of Ohio. They recruited California and Texas and South Georgia and Florida. So yeah, it's not like players grew up playing in the cold, and it's not like every single game was in cold weather for Ohio, and it's not like Tennessee plays in South Beach. I mean, I think it's going to suck for both teams. I really do. But also you kind of look into that and you say, well, whose run game do you trust better? I trust Tennessee's run game better than Ohio State's, and I trust Tennessee's offensive line better. But yeah, to answer your question, going on the road, yeah, it's a huge factor. But embrace it as a competitor, as a fan base, and the fan base is certainly embracing it. Embrace it. Go out there and get that dub.
Retro for 2 says Jeremiah Smith versus McCoy is box office must-see TV. This is hands down, yeah, I get it. Ohio State doesn't play in the SEC. We like to insult their conference. We like to take shots at them. But guess what? If Ohio State was in the SEC, they'd still be a dang good football team. I think best wide receivers Tennessee is going to face by far. Flyfish 21 drops a 20 spot. We got something we have to do. We got to play the clip.
Rocky Top!
Flyfish says Ohio State should win this game. More talent, at home, and favored. Great content as always.
I agree 100% with everything that was just said right there. There's more talent on that roster. It's at home, and you are the favored team. Like, Ohio State should win this game. If Tennessee wins this game, it's going to be an upset, but it won't be like a shocking upset. It won't be a stunner. It won't be Tennessee shocking the world. This is going to be a close football game. There's a reason why so many people are picking Tennessee to win. There's a reason why that spread, I understand, is at a touchdown, but the total is really, really low. It's going to be low scoring. What happens when it's a low scoring football game? It's a play here or there that can make the difference. And I think this is going to be one of those games where someone's going to do something in the late in the third, early in the fourth that's going to be the difference in this football game.
It's such an intriguing matchup, man. It really is. When you look statistics, numbers, roster, and I agree too. I think that I get it. We're Tennessee fans. We see through orange tinted glasses. We think Tennessee's going to go up there and take care of business. If this game's in Neyland Stadium, I'm picking Tennessee to win 100%. No questions asked. I think Tennessee wins in Neyland Stadium. Going up there to Columbus, look, I'm going to make my prediction here in probably 45 minutes to an hour. I have no idea who I'm picking or what the score is. I have no idea. I want to roll with the good guys. I want to roll with the Vols. I don't have the confidence because it is on the road. But I do think, even though I'm like you, I agree with everything they said there. I think they have more talent. It's on the road. There's a reason they're favored by a touchdown. It all makes sense. But I think the matchup, I think there are some things here that do lean in Tennessee's favor that if they take advantage of, they can put themselves in a position to win this football game. One of those is Ohio State's offensive line. Now, you put out an article on VolQuest earlier today. The title of the article, What Will Ohio State's Offensive Line Look Like Against Tennessee in the College Football Playoff? So take your own article, go plug VolQuest, tell them about all the deals and specials, and tell us what that article is about.
Yeah, $1 for 7 days. Jump on it right now. It's the biggest game of the year. Don't hold anything back, right? You look at what it could look like. I mean, they've got two big injuries. The Remington Award winner, the center, obviously not going to play. First-round talent at left tackle. He's been out for 6 games, so he's been out for a while. So we know about those. I mean, those are two huge pieces that aren't playing in this football game. The interior's the issue. Left guard, they've had 4 different starters. 4. Left guard is a huge weak link. Center, though your backup center, who's now playing for McLaughlin, who was the Remington Award winner, who's injured, though he was the starter all last year, he wasn't very good. I mean, they went out and got somebody else, if that says anything. So it shows the confidence or the lack thereof that they had of him, this time last year. He's been there. He's experienced, but not the most talented. Right guard, the right guard and right tackle both have started every single game this year, so consistency's been there. But still, the right guard on paper has not been very good. I think there's opportunity there in the interior. The left tackle they're playing, Josh Jackson, I think's his name, or Donovan Jackson. He has started 10 of 12 games this year, but he's a guard playing tackle. There's just going to be opportunity there. But Boogie, we talked about this leading in the Georgia game, right? I mean, injury concerns for Georgia's offensive line. What did Tennessee do? No sacks, 2 TFLs. They have got to get after it. They've got to be creative. They've got to blitz, not just twists and turns up front. They've got to bring pressure for the second layer. How will Ohio State combat that? Because I think Tennessee's going to load up the interior. Will Howard, if you force him into bad decisions, he will hand you the football. He will make not good throws and give you an opportunity to get the football back. I mean, Michigan saw that just a couple of weeks ago. If you let him sit back there and have time, you're going to see a quarterback like Carson Beck, who was struggling before Tennessee, but look like the Carson Beck of old. You're going to see a guy like Graham Mertz, 2023 Graham Mertz, who is very accurate, very much a game manager, but he can pick you apart if you don't get to him. So pressure has got to be the key in this one. But yeah, it's very much a makeshift offensive line. They're battered and bruised, but it's still got players on scholarship, and they're at Ohio State, and they played a whole lot of football, and they're going to give Tennessee their best effort. Tennessee's going to have to force that hand and be back to being that front seven that we know that we've seen the majority of the year.
I feel like we have these same conversations all year long. Like, be aggressive, get after the quarterback. And he's only been sacked 10 times. So beat up, banged up, whatever Ohio State's offensive line is dealing with, he's still only been sacked 10 times. I think aggression aggression is the biggest key for me. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. We got over 417 people. Oh, I said that was very exact. We have over 417 people. We have 417 people watching live. Do us a favor, smash the thumbs up. It's right down there below the video. It takes 2 seconds. So many of you guys watch the content. You watch the videos, the live streams, and you're not subscribed. Fix that. If you're watching on your TV, I get it. I do the same thing. Pick up your phone, sign on to your Google account, hit that subscribe button. It helps the channel. We would appreciate it. Also, go over to Locked On Vols, where Kaner is dropping you content every single day, Monday through Friday. And guess what? When football season ends, he's got you covered for basketball. He's got you covered for baseball. So you yell at me and you want me to watch basketball. I tried to watch basketball the other night. And guess what? Tennessee played like absolute trash. Y'all said, Boogie, turn off the TV. I turned off the TV. I switched it to UFC. And then all of a sudden, Tennessee comes back, buzzer beater win. And you can go listen to it on Locked On Vols. So help us out. Smash the thumbs up. Get his subscriber count up. Get this thing up. We're trying to hit 30,000 subscribers. We would appreciate it. But aggression, Kaner, aggression is the key for me. It starts with Tim Banks on defense. Get after it. You got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You're playing with house money. As a fan base, 10-2 college football playoff, that's what we wanted. Tim Banks, get after it, get creative, get aggressive offensively. I'm going to tell you my key to the game and then talk about what Tennessee can do or what you want to see them do against Ohio State. Run Nico. Run Nico like there's no tomorrow and there is nothing to lose. And I think that opens up this playbook even more. But what do you see when you do your research that Ohio State does that Tennessee can maybe capitalize on, or what are your keys for Tennessee's offense?
I mean, this is a really sound defense, just like Ohio State scouting Tennessee's defense. I mean, it's really, really good. You know, top 10 scoring defense, top 10 rushing defense, top 10 total defense. They create turnovers. They're good at all 3 levels. Tennessee's deeper in the front 7. Ohio State's more talented at linebacker. Ohio State's more talented at safety. The cornerbacks are very comparable. It's just a really, really good defense. So instead of focusing on, well, let's try to find the weak link, because I don't think that there's much there. It's what can you do to try to run them down a little bit, to try to expose them a little bit, and that's just be who you are. You know, it's same old stuff every single week. Who are you? You are a good defensive football team, and you're a good rushing football team. Rushing football team, in other words. That stuff travels. So go play good defense. Go run the football with Dylan Sansom behind that offensive line that's got over 2,700 yards on the ground this year. You run the football, allow Nico to build off that play action pass, allow Nico to take his shots, but don't get greedy. Don't just try to take too many shots down the field. Take the intermediate passing game, and I think it's going to be there with the tight ends in this game, but most importantly, run the football. Biggest thing for me in this football game, and it's all about how you do it on first downs, tempo. Ryan Day said it earlier this week, and he's exactly right, okay? You can't practice this tempo. You just can't replicate it, okay? It's like trying to practice against an option offense. You can't replicate that in practice. What you can do, though, is practice against it and then use the first quarter to try to get adjusted to it. Tennessee needs to run tempo. How do you run tempo? You win first downs. You get first downs. You move the sticks. If Tennessee goes 3 and out running tempo, taking 45 seconds off the clock, that doesn't help anybody. That doesn't help the defense at all. So I think Tennessee needs to run the tempo. Ohio State has seen tempo teams, but not like this. And that will allow you to maybe get out to an early lead and then kind of seize control of this football game. But run the football, throw off play action just like you did against Vanderbilt and you were so successful. Just go get it, man. I trust Tennessee's run game way more than I trust Ohio State, just because I like Tennessee's offensive line better than I like Ohio State's right now. And Ohio State's got 2 great running backs. Going back to what we said earlier, about Ohio State playing the Big Ten. If they're in the SEC, they win 9 or 10 games. I completely agree. This is the best skilled players Tennessee will have seen all year. The receivers, the 2 tailbacks, a quarterback that's good enough. This is a really, really good offense from a skilled player perspective, but the offensive line has been holding it back the last couple of weeks, and the quarterback at times has held it back. It's up to Tennessee to force that hand.
Interesting matchup, man. I'm excited to see it. I think we're getting a second-round matchup in the first round because the way they screwed up all the seeding and stuff.
I mean, Oregon, the number 1 overall seed, got screwed.
Yeah,
screwed.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. They got to get that fixed, but we got exciting football coming up on Saturday night. I will be over on Locked On Vols Friday morning. Make sure you guys tune into that. What else you got going on over at Locked On Vols and VolQuest.com?
Yeah, talk to Barrett Sallee on today's show. Talk with Josh Ward as well. We got you coming up on Friday. Got a crossover with Jay Stevens. Really good stuff. Knows Ohio State inside and out. He's coming up on the show tomorrow. So a couple of good guests this week for sure. And then over on VolQuest, recruiting updates from transfer portal visitors. We got the breakdown of Wendell Moy, who committed to Tennessee out of the transfer portal today. That offensive line look at Ohio State that I put out earlier that you mentioned, it really breaks it down. It gives Pro Football Focus grades, snap counts, pressures allowed. And then somebody responded when I posted it like, hey, man, this reminds me of Georgia. Don't get my hopes up. Exactly right. Like, it's up to Tennessee to go take advantage, and I think there's a path there. So a whole lot of stuff over on VolQuest.com as well. And Boogie, you and me both, man. We're just praying we can be, talking college football playoffs over Christmas next week and talking about impending Rose Bowl. That'd be awesome.
So true, man. Tennessee, Oregon in the Rose Bowl. Let's do it, man. It'll be exciting. Always a pleasure to have you on. Tell the wife I said thank you. I know you all usually spend time together in the evening. You're like, Boogie, I can do the show in the evening. It's fine. So I appreciate you coming on. Go check out Locked On Vols. And by the way, tell Hubbard that I need one of those shirts that you got on. I got the VolQuest letters shirt because I'm VIP. Everybody that runs their mouth and talks about how VolQuest hates me. I got that VIP VolQuest merch. I need that hoodie. I like it. Appreciate you coming on, brother. We'll catch up soon, okay?
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, later. All right, we're going to keep this dang thing rolling. I put up a poll at the start of the show. I said, what do you guys want after Kaner drops off the show? Do you want us to just talk ball? Do you want us to go watch Josh Heupel's press conference? And when we watch Josh Heupel's press conference on Monday mornings, we don't just watch the press conference and sit here in silence. What we do is we listen to the press conference, we pause, we react. We use it as talking points. I think it usually makes for a really good show. Me and Coach Jay have started doing it on Friday mornings, and it makes for good content. The poll was overwhelming. You said 71% was the poll. I'm going to end the poll now. 71% said, Boogie, just do both. We're going to need you to talk ball, and we're going to need you to listen to Josh Heupel's press conference. So the boys in the back, they don't know that they signed up for overtime. We may be live all night. I have no idea. We're going to hang out all night long. But before we get into that, I got to ask you guys again, over 400 people watching on a Wednesday night, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up. It's so easy. It's so easy, and it helps the channel way more than you guys even know. But if you want to go a step further, you want to take it a step further and help the channel, you can go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. We got these brand new shirts to let Coach Jay know he's muted. I'm using this dude's face on a shirt. I've not even sent him the free shirt yet. I got to send him a free shirt. I'm going to do that soon, Coach. I promise. But we got to remind Coach Jay that he's muted. So you can get that. There's logo shirts. There's rivalry shirts. You guys asked for camo. Check this out. We've got camo. You can go hunt in the woods. I guess you can go hunt in the streets. I don't know what this is. Or you can go hunt in the snow. Whatever you want. Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. You can also become a member of this channel. You see all these people in the chat over here? They got a power T beside their name. They're highlighted in green. I try to highlight their comments on the screen. That's because they support what we do around here. You can do that for $1 a month. Hit the join button down below. There's a link pinned to the top of the live chat, or there is a link in the description below as well. However you want to help, man, we appreciate the support. This is for the fans, by the fans, also fan funded. This show does not exist without you guys. So get in where you fit in. We would greatly, greatly appreciate it. All right, that's all the plugs and chills. I'm done plugging and chilling. Let's get the boys on here. Let's talk some college football. Let's talk some Tennessee football. We got a big matchup coming up. I gotta. How you guys feeling? Let's man. Dobber, why are you wearing a hat? You're so cool. You're so trendy. You're so in the know. Why is it cool to wear a hat with the letters upside down? Nate, Nate, how old are you? You're younger than us.
Yeah, 36.
36. Does it make any sense to you why somebody would wear a shirt or a hat with the letters upside down?
Absolutely.
I don't get it. What why is it cool, Dobber? Why is it a fad?
I don't know. I just liked it.
You just do it because they tell you it's cool.
Style and profiling, baby.
You are. You got the you and X always.
I'll say this the hat he need right here, though. You know what I'm saying? My cousin gave me this at our Christmas party that he usually throws it annually. So yeah, this is the hat you need right here.
I know you're wearing a hoodie too, X, but you truly look like Santa Claus. You've got the toboggan on, and it looks like you got the full-on orange and white. What is happening?
I'd be sweating so bad if I had.
I about to say, listen, look, that's Santa Claus.
Hat
Listen,
and a hoodie on
look,
right now.
I'm Brother Claus. Listen, you got to get it right, it's Brother Claus.
We are. Foul Mink says because it's cool. Yeah, we're old. I feel like the left side of the room, Nate over here, we're the old souls. Y'all are young and cool and hip, and we have no idea what you all are talking about right now. Let's just briefly jump into where you guys are at. Dobber, going into this thing, I've talked about how for me, and maybe it's because I'm so consumed with covering the transfer portal on this channel, that I get lost and we got a college football playoff game coming up on Saturday? Like, where are you at? Do you feel like we're playing football on Saturday?
Oh man, I'm excited. It's a huge game. This is big time. Especially consider where we've been in the not so distant past. Where we were when Coach Josh Heupel came in and took over this program. What he's done, he's resurrected the program because we were rock bottom. We were laughing stock of the SEC. When we were growing up, Boogie, November was, you took November and you beat up on Kentucky, you beat up on Vanderbilt, you beat up on South Carolina.
You spent time with your family because you knew it was a guaranteed win.
You got ready for your bowl game.
Yeah.
For a little while in the dark days, we were hoping and praying for a W in November because it got so, iffy. And a lot of people started doing other things. They started going up in their tree stand. They started, doing other things on Saturdays. But it's good to be back to a point where we're in the conversation, where we're relevant, where Tennessee football matters. So it's a huge game. I'm excited. I'm ready for it. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game.
How you feeling, Nate? You feel like we're about to play the biggest game of Heupel's career on Saturday?
I do believe it's the biggest game of Heupel's career. I also feel like it's going to turn into one of the most classic games of college football. I have every feeling that it's going to be like a Clash of the Titans type situation. One way or another, it's either going to be a low scoring game or I'm not going to go for a high scoring game, but we might hit 30s. I don't know. It's going to be a tough game. I do believe that we can go in and pull it off. I believe Heupel's going to get us in the right direction and get us doing what we're supposed to be doing. And I hope not. I don't believe that we're going to go in and we're going to see any kind of hesitation as far as playing on the road. I pray that those times are behind us, but I believe Heupel's going to get us going the right direction. And man, we're going to go and we're going to be able to go to Big Ten country, and we're going to, it might be a felony now, but I'd like to see that big orange flag. And man, it would, if I could be there, I would plant the flag for them. I would love to do it. And but I see us going in. It's going to be a hard game. It's going to be tough, but I'm excited about it, man.
I saw somebody, I think it was on the VolQuest message board, talking about the flag planting and all that stuff, and they said if Tennessee wins, somebody better watch Spraggs, because Javonte Spraggins will 100% plant that flag in the middle of that field. Hey, it ain't a felony yet. Let's go ahead and take care of it now. What about you, X? You excited, fired up?
Yes,
I still don't feel like we're playing football. I'm glad y'all picking me up. This Wednesday Night Live's getting me there.
Oh, yes, sir. Listen, Boog, I'm definitely excited for this because, listen, for me, for watching, like I said, Tennessee football as long as I have, for like me, Coach Rice, and the younger generation, coming up watching Tennessee football, listen, I tell it all the time. You and Dauber, you guys were spoiled. You got to see Tennessee win a national championship back in the day. Like people like me and Coach Rice, we never got to experience any of this. Now, I'm not going to lie. I wish that we were playing in Neyland Stadium because, trust me, this brother Claus over here, we're trying to cop some tickets. That's definitely on my wish list. But sadly, we know how that turned out. But nah, man, I'm really, really excited. It is going to be a very, very tough game, man. And I know we kind of talked about it a couple weeks before, but like I know we'll go a little bit more depth into it. But if you think about it, man, going up into Ohio State, Ryan Day kind of on the hot seat, must-win game to keep his coaching job. Yeah, it's going to be a very, very tough game because, like I said, like we go up there to prove something, or like I said, we have a one goal in mind. For Ryan Day, for his coaching job, this is a must-win for him because, especially after losing to Michigan, 4 years straight in a row at home, it's not good. It's not good. So yeah, this game, like Nate said, I think this game is definitely going to be like a low-scoring game, but it could be a high-scoring game. So I don't know. We'll just have to see.
It's such an interesting matchup because, like me and Kane were talking about, it's two similar programs. Like very, like you look statistically across the board, like as far as just numbers, they are very, very similar. They both have playmakers. They both have talent. They both play good defense, and they're coming from two different perspectives here. Tennessee, I think, is focused and dialed in, and their eyes are on the prize. Whereas Ohio State, I don't want to question their locker room. I think their locker room, because a lot of times the fans and what they're saying and what's on Twitter is different than what's going on in that locker room. I think these players are going to be behind Ryan Day, but they're fans, man. Look, we're going to talk about tickets here in just a second. And there is so much to unpack with that and why tickets are cheaper and why the price is going down. What are Ohio State fans doing? We'll talk about all that in just a second. Let me catch up with you guys in the chat. Hondo T drops a $5 super chat, says Jackson Moy is going to nail Howard. Does Howard become one of those quarterbacks that, I don't know, we got a track record this season of knocking quarterbacks out of games. Maybe we'll go ahead and knock him out on Saturday night as well. Jeff Clabo for 5 says Vol World Order for life. We appreciate you, brother. 3 up. 1 down for 5 says upside down letters makes me think of an upside down flag, meaning we are in distress. I don't think the Vols are in distress, or maybe I don't get it. I'm with you. 3 up, 1 down, and I appreciate your service. I like that profile picture. We appreciate the service. By the way, quick plug. We've not set the date yet, but we're going to do, what is this, Dauber? The 3rd annual, the 4th annual benefit stream to benefit Fisher House. Is it the 3rd?
Yeah. Didn't we do one for somewhere else one year?
No, we did. Is it 3rd? I don't remember if it's 3rd. The first one we ever did was improv. We just in the middle of the stream said every super chat we're going to donate. Okay. We just cut a check.
That makes 3 then.
So because the first one we just cut a check. The second one we did the fundraiser.
We set a lofty
10 grand.
Goal. We didn't make the lofty goal 2 years ago. Last year we hit it and exceeded it and moved the goalpost during the show.
Freaking Coach Jay. Freaking Coach Jay says 15 grand this year. 15 grand. Can we do that? 15 grand for Fisher House Foundation, which is like Ronald McDonald House for our men and women, the troops.
Such a great cause.
I will announce that. Really we'll do it after the national championship game. I know right now Pancakes and Bacon is going to be on here. VolQuest is going to be on here. A to Z Sports has always been a part of it. We'll get Go Vols 247, all those guys, Ben McKee. We'll see. But 3 up, 1 downs profile picture just sent me on that tangent. But just stay tuned for that. Biggest stream of the year for us. So come support it. Clarence Dalton becomes a member of the channel. We appreciate that. Hey, join it, man. Hit that join button down there. It's just $1. We would appreciate it. Dan Yoder for 5 says entry. Thanks, Boogie. No, thank you, Dan. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Ed Malungian for 5. We need some nice hats at Bonfire, Boogie. We got hats. Nobody here's got one. Coach Jay wears one. Coach Rice wears one. Not ours, Dauber. Those are limited edition, bro. Those are limited edition, bro. Those aren't for sale. But Bonfire did switch over, but they are flat bills, and you all don't like flat bills. But Coach Rice, Coach Jay, rev them. I've got mine sitting over there somewhere. Dan Yoder for 10 says hit him in the mouth early. Knock that confidence right out of their shoe. Hondo T for another 5 says Dauber, man, I was in a stand, killed a deer while listening to Talkin VAWLS. That's not the only story that exists like that. We got plenty of those. Paul the Ball for 10. Says field goals in the Tennessee River at Knoxville and West Tennessee. Sleeping in a sleeping bag on the streets of Columbus this weekend. GBO. It's too cold to play football, but Paul the Ball is going to sleep in a sleeping bag. I'm here for it. Tyler Maxwell for 5 says this is a huge game. I'm so ready for this game. Thank you for covering my favorite team. It's all on the line. I need a fire-up speech from Boogie. Should I give one tonight? We'll see. It's not like I have it planned. It just comes out in me. But I will say this. Usually when Kaner comes on, and then I'll watch Heupel's press conference, you usually get some type of come to Jesus meeting in those shows. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Retro for 5 says in 2022, OSU got embarrassed by Michigan, then gave Georgia all they wanted. I believe both teams will be prepared. Yeah, it's all. How does Ohio State respond? It'll be interesting. All right. Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Dauber.
Well, I was just going to say the whole thing with that, though, is that game It was a game between two good teams. Ohio State's coming off a loss to a horrible Michigan team, where they were 21-point favorites. I read something earlier this week. Will Howard was talking about, he put a lot on him for that game, and he's wanting to step up and be elite. Man, it's you're at the end of the season. Why you want to step up and be a leader right now? Let's you can't fix something that's broken. And I think, like Boogie said, I think there's a lot of discontent, and coming off of you're talking Ohio State had a chance to beat Michigan and play for their conference championship, play for a bye in the first round, and they lost all that. And now you've got, like X said, Ryan Day is on the hot seat. You've got all this other stuff. Where is this Ohio State team at? Don't get me wrong. They are a heck of a ball club. Their roster chock full of talent. But, I mean, we've seen talent only gets you so far. You got to play together as a team. Your fans check out, which there's been a lot of, internet fodder of Ohio State fans checking out Ohio State fans pulling for them to lose so they can fire Ryan Day. It's all this stuff. Is that going to play a factor, or is it? Will they be able to focus and just between the lines play football? There's a lot of noise, and sometimes it's hard to turn that down and focus. And I've said it all year long. You look at Coach Heupel, you look at all of our guys when they give an interview. There's something different about the look in their eyes. This team is special, and if the offense can click and that defense plays elite like they are, boys, I mean, we could be talking for another couple weeks.
You got me excited. You just stopped talking. You got me excited. It's like that was it. Now, hold on. Y'all shut up. I got family in the house. I want to send a shout out to my family. James Lofton is here. Man, family. Cousin Boogie. Uncle James, Uncle Kenny. I guess Jaden's my brother, I think, at this point. Shout out, James. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Love you guys. I know he said just a second ago they're up at Ohio State. Cool, man. It's cool seeing all the early enrollees on campus, seeing Big Dave. How crazy is college football now? Like, we talk about the portal and all the changes of college football, and I know early enrollees is not a new thing. 23 of the guys from the class of 25 are on campus already going through practice. Now, are they getting crazy reps? And they're getting some run. But more importantly, they're learning what it looks like, right? You ever take a new job, man, it takes you weeks to figure out where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? How does this work? What's this company look like? What's my boss's like? Now you're there and you're going through it and you understand what practice looks like. So when spring camp rolls around, you're ready to go. You are ready to go. Let's move this thing. I got some fun stuff to talk about. I said we're going to watch Heupel's press conference. It's 18 minutes. We're already an hour into the show. Do we still watch? Do we make them pay for it, Nate? Do we treat this like a Tuesday night? Somebody dropped a $50 super chat last night just for me to play Nico's 4-minute interview. So do we make them pay for it? I don't think that works on Wednesday. I think that makes people yell at me about money. I don't know. We'll see. Do y'all want to hear Heupel's press conference? It's 18 minutes. This show is going to go from an hour to 2 hours real quick. But if you guys want it, if you guys demand it, you know what to do. Let's talk about some fun stuff. I want to start with this clip from Josh Pate. It's out here on Twitter. I've said multiple times, by the way, I don't know who that girl is. She looks like she's got a great personality. I've said multiple times, if Tennessee ever wins a natty again, I'm sorry, Nate. I'm sorry, Nate. I'm sorry,
I was trying not to laugh, man.
I thought, we talk about Tuesday night. I thought it was all of a sudden Tuesday night. I got distracted. But now I can't focus. Nate. I can't focus. I said if Tennessee ever wins a natty again, I am going to be unbearable. Tennessee fans are built different. I was watching Ari and Andy from earlier today talking about the ticket takeover and all that type of stuff, and they're saying, Ohio State's just like Tennessee. No. Where else do you shut down a coaching hire? Nobody is like Vol Twitter. Nobody is like Tennessee football fans. Let's take a listen to Josh Pate, and we're going to kind of bleed this in to playing Rocky Top in bars in Ohio. We're going to take this into ticket takeover. We're going to talk about how different we are. Foul Ming says, oh, wow, it's late night talking balls. Joey Carroll says $2. Rally.
There we go.
Joey knows what to do. Joey knows what to do.
Well, it's just like Ohio State's athletic director. He said, we're a Rabbit fan base. You about to see a Rabbit fan base.
Let's don't bury the lead, X. We're going to take a listen. Take a listen.
I think America does not fully understand these people. I live in Tennessee, Haley. I am parked in Nashville right now. I know how impossible flights are to get to Columbus for next week or this weekend. I know how rabid they are. I think that anyone surprised by this has not fully embedded themselves in like Tennessee fandom, Tennessee Twitter, Tennessee internet culture. Yes, they're going to have a presence there. And also, you're going into a situation where, yes, you've got home field at Ohio State, and that means something. But the weather being in the 20s is supposed to benefit the northern team. And yet, based on style of play, I mean, Ohio State's got to throw the ball a lot more than they did against Michigan for obvious reasons. So Tennessee's the one that can ground and pound a little bit better here. Maybe the weather even plays against Ohio State. They're favored by a touchdown, and yet there's so much uneasiness up there. There's so much unrest. And then you hear all these whispers like, they've had the players-only meetings, Haley, so that rectifies everything. They've gotten their act together. Chip Kelly, the offensive coordinator, said a couple of days ago at his media availability, we've watched the Michigan game. We've identified the problems. Okay, here's the thing. Tennessee gets to try, too. Tennessee's got a pretty good team, too. So you're not playing against air. I'm nervous. Yes, as you can tell, I'm nervous for him.
What are your thoughts on Josh Payton? Are we different, Dauber? Are we different, or do we just think we're different because we're Tennessee fans?
We're different. I mean, you look at this channel and going through the dark period, and still had people, group therapy. You look at baseball winning the Natty. I think that drew a lot of people that probably hadn't watched an inning of baseball in their life. It's all orange all the time. I sent you a message in the private chat to see if you had the Ron Slay video.
I don't have it queued up.
But man, it's all we know. Come on. We are different. It's one of those things, and we've talked about it on this show before. Like Coach Jay, it gets in you. Once you get that orange bug bites you, it just takes hold. And that's why I think there are people, in our area that grew up and they see people like me that, half their closet's orange. It is all orange all the time.
Why is mine black and gold, Dauber?
I don't want any part of that. and that's why you have some people that go a different route and pull for a different team, because it is so, ingrained in the culture. You can't go out to the grocery store and not see somebody wearing a Tennessee shirt or a hat. And a lot of those people probably didn't go to the University of Tennessee, but it is our state school. You don't see a lot of people pulling for Vanderbilt or Memphis unless they went there. This is our state school. There's a lot of people that have a lot of state pride, and it means something. But yeah, it is. We're different. It gets in you, and I'll go even a step further and say the South is different than the North. So it is football in the South is different than football in the North.
Look, Robert from the golf course, our golf buddy. We played golf together many a time. He comes from Big Ten country. He grew up in Indiana, moved down here, went to school, and now it's like, bro,
it's basketball up there.
You have no idea what college football is.
Basketball and ice fishing. It's basketball and ice fishing. Come on.
That's ridiculous. Yeah,
I was just watching today. One of the guys were talking for Ohio State, and he said apparently it's a big thing up there. They're saying, "Oh, I wish those SEC teams could come up here and play." He said, "Well, now you got it. So what you going to do about it?" He said, "Now Tennessee's coming to your house, and Ball Twitter's coming." He said, "Ball Nation is going to be there. So what are you going to do?"
Well, let's hold on. Let me hit this super chat real quick from Foul Ming. Foul Ming says for 2. He's dropping them orange and white checkerboard. He says, I know what to do. I want to hear the Josh Heupel press conference, and if we want to hear it, we got to drop super chats. That's what Culberson is saying right there. Let's take it a step further, because Nate, Dauber went all sentimental. Nate immediately takes it to Vol Twitter. Maybe they're a little petty. Maybe Vol Twitter's a little aggressive. Maybe we're a bit of trolls. So, X Factor, let's take a listen to this. Let's take a listen to what is going on across the state of Ohio right now. This is a news report. This is beautiful.
The pregame trash talk and tricks are already underway between fans from Tennessee and Ohio State. Now, using the app TouchTunes, Vol fans are already toying with the ears of fans in Columbus. We saw online Vol fans were using the app to remotely play Rocky Top on repeat in jukeboxes at bars near Ohio State, and we confirmed that's true. We called 8 bars near the OSU campus, and 2 said, yep, it's happening. When we called Rocky Top, you see the video, Rocky Top was blasting in the background. Thanks to Tony for the proof. We call that an early win for Vol Nation. And then late tonight, we see this on Wikipedia. We're hearing so much about Vol fans making the trip to Ohio for that away game. Look at the nicknames on the stadium, the Horseshoe, the Shoe, and yes, what is that? Neyland North. Yeah, we call that win number 2 for Vol Nation tonight.
I want to talk about the Neyland North thing, X, because it's kind of it started and then it's grown and it's grown and it's grown. And this article came out on VolQuest. 42% of Tennessee Ohio State tickets sold on SeatGeek have gone to Tennessee residents. But before the resale, Ohio State puts out their tickets. They have a code, a pre-sale code. It's OSU football or some nonsense. And I saw it all over Twitter. And look, if you scroll down and you read this article, it tells you that Tennessee was only going to get 3,500 tickets. Right here, the Vols were given an allotment of 3,500 tickets as mandated by the College Football Playoff. Guess what? That's a hostile environment. That is an Ohio State home game. That's less tickets than we get for an SEC road game. But I saw all this stuff on Twitter, and I was like, that's not really true. Went to the gym. There's a guy there that listens to the channel every single day. He's like, Boogie, it's true. I got the promo code. I went on. I used it. He's going to the game. So it's true, like that pre-sale code. But then now on the secondary market, you're seeing 42% of tickets. So, X, how many Tennessee fans are going to be in the Horseshoe on Saturday? 30,000? Like, it holds 100,000 people. Is it going to be 30,000, 40,000, or are we blowing this thing out of proportion?
Listen, about 30, 40,000 is kind of more likely what I'm looking at. Because, look, I said it a little bit earlier. The athletic director, for Ohio State was saying, was trying to prevent us from coming up there because he says, no, we can't allow, Tennessee fans to come up here. They're a rabid fan base. Okay. All right. Yeah. You about to see how rabid we could be. But with the whole Neyland North and stuff is actually pretty funny because when I was at work and, I was just scrolling online and stuff and then somebody went to the Google Maps and I was like, no, they didn't. So somebody hacked into Google Maps and nicknamed it Neyland North. I said, I love it. I love it. And, man, it just gets me more excited for this game. It really does. And just like what Dauber said earlier, man, I remember the dark days, man. I really do of Tennessee football. So for us to be right here in this moment, to know that we're going to the playoffs to compete for a national championship, dude, it's huge. It's really huge. And with this going on right now, it says a lot about our fan base, too, that, listen, it's up in, St. Up, Ohio. Oh, guess what? We're not scared to travel up to, Ohio to watch our Vols play. I mean, it gets cold down here too, because they want to throw the whole weather factor into it. Oh, it's cold up here. And, they act like we're a Florida team, like Florida State, Miami, Florida. They act like we're a Florida team. And no, it gets cold down here in the mountains too, bro. I mean, we literally had snow like a week or 2 weeks ago or something.
Right when they started talking about whether we got
snow. Right, exactly. And then I also saw a clip of actually them going to practice, and I was just like, yeah, see, so nah. But nah, man, for us as a fan base, man, it really shows that, listen, we bleed orange, and we don't use that term lightly. We definitely bleed orange. But also most likely too, man, this also shows recruiting as well. It's going to help us with recruiting because we had these recruiting battles with Ohio State, because we had Big David Sanders come up there, give us a scare, literally last month. Then, we had the Carnell Tate incident, him going up there. So, man, this is just going to be huge if we can go up there and pull off this win. It's going to say a lot about recruiting and a lot about us as a program.
Nate, what do you think about, we're talking about Ohio State in the Michigan loss, right? And there are fans, they can pretend, and look, it's maybe a vocal minority. I don't know. There are fans out there, like whoever said it earlier, that want Ohio State to lose this game so they can fire Ryan Day and move on. Apathy has set in, and I think that's part of this too. When you're seeing resale, of tickets, right? It's not the pre-sale code and all this stuff. It's the scalpers selling the tickets, and we are buying them up. We're gobbling them up from the state of Tennessee. 42% is buying it up from the state of Tennessee. I think it's because we're coming at this as fan bases from two different perspectives. We're moving forward. We are marching into the fire. They are running out. They're terrified. They're like, we want to get rid of our coach. And so when you see all this stuff with the ticket sales and what's going on, do you think that's because their fan base is 1 foot out the door?
I do. They I took the opportunity today, or the time today. I had a kind of a slow day at work, and I started looking into people that pull for Ohio State and their podcasts or their YouTube videos, and there were so many people saying this fan base is ready. They're ready. If he doesn't win the championship, they're done with him. And I believe he said a lot of people. He said before they would have came into the game and they would have said, "Oh, we're about to smoke them. We're about to do this." He said, but their expectation has changed because now they're saying, well, if he doesn't win this, he's gone. It's not we're coming in and we're going to win. We're going to dominate. It's we're going to see what Ryan Day does. We're going to see which coach we have. So I believe that is affecting a lot of things. And I just hope that doesn't get to our head. I hope that we don't come in there thinking that, okay, we're going to go in and we're going to have our way. No, it's going to be tough. Now, this game could go either way. As excited as I am, this game could go either way. But I do believe that this is a make or break for Ryan Day. And so that could either be wonderful for us or it could be terrible for us. So we got to come in and we got to be concentrated 100% doing our job every play, every down. And but I do believe it's going to be a good thing, man. It's y'all talking about Vol Twitter and everything. It reminded me of the old video said I'm built different. I love seeing all the trash talk. I love seeing everybody getting hype. I want that to flow over into our football team. I want our football team to come in and Saturday night and be ready to rip somebody's head off. Do I want to see fighting? Do I want to see anything like that? No. But would I like to see some extra shoves and extra pushing? Absolutely.
Chippiness.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's part of football. Go ahead,
I was just going to say that's all fun and all this pre-game stuff and all the fans, that interaction. It's fun, but it doesn't make a hill of beans and it won't make a difference what happens on the playing field in Columbus on Saturday. So, we can have all this back and forth. And the weather, frankly, doesn't make a difference either because both teams have to be out there playing in it. You want to say, oh, yeah, come up north. It's not even going to be a 5 or 6 degree difference between Columbus and Knoxville on Saturday.
Yeah.
The wind may be blowing a little bit. They may have some snow flurries. But listen, we get that in Tennessee too.
And we practice in the morning when it's cold. So
it's what matters is what's going to happen between the lines Saturday night after they tee it up. And, it's Heupel said it best, what game was it when he came off the field at halftime and said, it doesn't matter. The opponent's nameless. They're faceless.
I think it was Oklahoma. I think it was pregame Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah. So I think this team, that's the mindset that they've got. And the struggles that they've had on the road, the demons that they faced, I think they've learned from going down to Fayetteville and losing a game that they really should have won. And I think this coaching staff has, that's something that they've looked back at and they've driven home to this team. Hey, we go on the road. We've got to focus. We've got to bring the intensity. We've got to bring the effort, and it's every snap. Because the margins for error in a road game, they shrink. They get smaller. You give the opposing fan base, any kind of momentum, and that just adds to the challenge of playing on the road. So you're facing a good team already. We got to go. We got to play clean football. We have to execute. And what we've seen all year, because we've really not put together 60 minutes of football. We've not put together 4 quarters of football. Yep. I think those are all teaching and coaching moments that they can use to say, hey, listen, we're as good as we can be ourselves, but we're our own worst enemy. If we go up there and we give them, if we make mistakes, they're a good team. They're going to capitalize on it. So that's what it comes down to. And I think Coach Heupel recognizes that. Coach Heupel recognizes the story of, hey, we've lost some games on the road that we shouldn't have. And it starts with me and our game preparation and everything going into that. So I thought it was kind of funny, the interview he had end of last week or early this week when he said, what are you going to do? We're not going to do anything. We're not going to change anything offensively, defensively, special teams. We're not going to change it. So, they're focused, and they have, as a coaching staff, as a team, they've had their meetings, and it is a business-like approach, and they're going up there with a game plan, and they know what's at stake. They're not having to look back and say, oh, well, we need to redeem ourselves for our last game that we should have won, and all that. So I think they are going to be focused, and it's going to be a tough task, but I'm looking forward to it.
I want to say this because as we talk about Ryan Day and where they're at, their fan base wanting to run him out of town, three straight, 11 win seasons, and you want to run your coach out of town. May we never become that fan base, because we are. I'm going to call y'all out. I'm going to call the entire fan base out. Absolutely. We're going to become that fan base. And I remember when we were going through the dark times and watching Alabama dominate and seeing their fans, who the majority of their fans were bandwagon fans, and seeing them get mad over losing a game. Like one game is like, oh, we got to run Saban out of town. Saban's lost it. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, do you have any idea what it's like to sit here and scratch and claw and fight and pray for 6 wins so you can go with your buddies to the Music City Bowl and watch Derek Dooley lose to North Carolina and watch Snake, one of the founders of this channel, try to fist fight some clown, and I have to look at him and say, what are you going to do when they jump you? Well, I thought you'd jump in. No, I'm going to watch you get your tail kicked. Like, I remember the dark times. So, let's remember, may we never become that fan base that wants to run Josh Heupel out of town when 2 out of his 4 seasons, he's won 10 games. Like, do we need to go back to Derek Dooley? Do we need to go back to Butch Jones? Do we need to go back to the dark times? You want to go back to Jeremy Pruitt? Like, we got JG out here on Twitter, like, desperate for attention, saying, I'll go on any podcast. Well, that's weird because your mentions are full of Boogie Bentley and Talkin VAWLS, but you ignoring us because we may have had somebody by the name of JP that destroyed that poor kid. Now he doesn't want to come on the Talkin VAWLS network. So I'm sorry, JG. I apologize on behalf of Vols JP. Like we've been through it. Let's not forget where we were and where we're at. And I know it's coming. I saw it this year, man. I preached all year long. Like, look where we were and look where we're at. And everything's still in front of us. We still have a shot at the college football playoff. And people are telling me that they're going to go watch basketball. They're going to go watch basketball because we have a shot at 10-2 in the college football playoff. Are you kidding me? This is history coming up on Saturday night. Like, what more do you want? A shot to win a natty's not good enough? Let's not become that fan base. Let's be appreciative. And that doesn't mean settling. I'm not settling for 10-2, first round, get bounced. I ain't here. I'm with Coach Hype. I ain't here for a cup of coffee. I'm here to go win the whole dang thing. But let's not forget where we were and where we are now. Let me catch up with some super chats real quick. Matt Mars for 5 says, Foul Ming beat me last night. Can't let him one-up me again. He cheats, Matt. Don't worry about it. He cheats. Thinking about kicking him out of the dynasty because he cheats. Foul Ming for 5. Love Foul Ming. What a great dude. Good character man here. He says, pull up to the scene with my ceiling missing, middle finger up to my competition. We're different. Yeah, we're different. I don't know what song that is, but y'all cool people may know.
Different.
Wait, who sings that?
I don't know. I don't know the guy's name.
Feels like a Tuesday night, Nate. Tyler Maxwell for 2. Neelan North. Good old Rocky Top. Appreciate you, Tyler. Chad Horner for 5 says, F the Buckeyes. I look, guys, I'm at a crossroads right here. I put up a poll and I said, what do you guys want to do? They said, watch the Heupel press conference, but we've been on for 45 minutes. We've been live for an hour and 15 minutes. The Heupel press conference is 20 minutes long. That's going to turn into an hour of conversation.
Let's go.
You all want to watch it? If you all are down to watch it,
there.
all right,
I'm
we'll
up
go
for it.
watch it. I said for the chat to rally, they said, here's $2, Boogie.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Hey,
They
at
didn't
least
rally.
they can do is punch the thumbs up, you know.
Yeah, how many thumbs up we got on this thing? Let's go look. Let's go look. By the way, we got 400. Let's do this, Nate. We got 427 people watching. If you want us to watch the Heupel press conference, at least drop a $2 super chat, a $5 super chat. Let's treat this thing like a Tuesday night. Let's rally the troops. But if not, hit the thumbs up because that's quick, free, and easy. I will give back if y'all share this thing out. We got 423 people watching. Let's make it reachable. God, every time I make it where it's just out of reach. 600 people. We get 600 people watching live. We'll give away 2 free shirts. 2 free shirts.
Oh.
600 people. That's very obtainable. So you got to go share it out, put it on Twitter, put it on Facebook, let somebody know we're live, and well give away 2 free shirts if we get to 6.
I'm going to help you all out right now.
Dang it, Dobber. Don't share it to your 12 followers. That'll blow this thing out of proportion.
I'm going to log on.
Oh, he's going to watch the show.
Yeah.
He's calling everybody in his family, all 12 of his friends. God, he's going to blow this thing out of the water right now already. All right, let's we'll listen to Josh Heupel's press conference. You guys, I don't know if I've ever done. I've only done this on my own and with Coach Jay. If he says something and you guys want to comment, tell me to pause. I'll pause. Provide commentary. Try to let him finish his statement. That way, it provides good talking points. But if you guys see something you want to talk about, say Boogie, pause it. Matthew Watson for 2 says we need black cleats with every uniform. I'm a fan of the black cleats. Spectrus L for 2. Wow, what is going on?
Okay.
I'm glad. You're not happy? Why are you not happy? I don't know why you're not happy. All right, let's take a listen.
Playing a big game against a great opponent. A lot of work's gone on to get to this point. Guys started back in January, staff and players together, and they've earned the right to play in a game like this. Great opponent, great venue. You look at Ohio State defensively, they lead almost every category in the country. And offensively, got elite players on that side of the ball, and they tie it together well with special teams. So huge challenge for us, but one we're really excited about. And preparation's been good. We got to continue that this week and get ready to go play our best football when we get up to Columbus. So great opportunity. Hope we see a bunch of our fans showing up as well. Open it up.
We'll start in the back with Rick and then up front here with Jay.
Hey, Coach, bowl games are fun and teams get much needed extra work, but how important is it for this program to be playing such a meaningful this time of year?
Absolutely. One of the goals for our program is to earn the right to get into this tournament. Proud of what our guys have done. First week of this preparation, we got a lot of young guy work. We've been intentional with that throughout the course of the season as well. And have tried to continue that as we've, shifted our focus to Ohio State. But this is, all the work and energy that you put into it. This is where you want to be.
I want to talk about that. He's talking about the young guys. We'll come back. Gregory C for 5 says, run it back. Boogie, appreciate you, Gregory. Chad for 5 says, this game reminds me of the 85 Sugar Bowl when nobody gave us a chance beating Miami. Right. We blew them out. Go Big Orange.
Right here.
Appreciate
Sugar
you, Chad.
Balls. Wait. Right there.
Wasn't that your dad? That was your dad's shirt. That's so awesome.
That was my dad's shirt. Yeah.
By the way, I was telling Mrs. Boogie about those helmets. I'm jealous. We went up to Alumni Hall, a couple of days ago, and they had the new smoky gray mini helmet with the checkerboard on the back, and I was like, I don't have this one, and I was like, Dauber's got I'm jealous, man. I'm jealous of those mini helmets. They look good. Wayne for 5. Wayne said, I don't have the money to give, Boogie. You guys know, look, I'm trying to raise money here. It's my full-time gig. I sell merch. I shill. I plug. But if you don't have money, don't ever feel the need to give money. I appreciate it. Wayne says, I found 5 and drops a $5 super chat. I appreciate it, Wayne. But look, understand, it's plugs, it's shills, it's paying the bills, but you don't ever have to give a thing around here. Hang out, talk ball, be a part of the community. That's what it's all about. But I appreciate you, Wayne. Thank you for the super chat. Heupel mentioned the young guys, and he's talking about the guys on this roster. But, I mentioned earlier David Sanders, the early enrollees. It's huge, man. It's huge. Because I think this extra time you go back to the fundamentals, right? The basics of football, and you develop guys. Then you go into your game prep as you get a little bit closer to college football or to the college football playoff.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, somebody said earlier that, and I know it was a comment, and I understand what you meant, but they said that we have nothing to lose. Just go in there and play loose. No, we have everything to lose. We have all the hard work and the dedication that all these guys put in all year long. But not just that, we have all these other players that are looking in saying, hey, I want to know how good Tennessee is. We got players like Sanders. We got players like all these guys that they're getting ready to make maybe the ones that already have, but there's more to come that are getting ready to make that decision. And they're saying, I want to see what Tennessee has. We have everything. We have gold in front of us if we go in and we take care of business.
Yeah, like I said, it's definitely huge for recruiting down the road.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it. We're happy with 10-2 and reaching the playoffs, but we're not content. We want more.
Right.
This team wants more because it does. It's a snowball effect. Winning breeds winning. It's success breeds success. So, every step you take that is positive, it helps you in recruiting. It helps you rebranding the program. It helps with all of that. So yeah, it's big time, and that's I think Heupel and I think this team recognizes that, and they realize the task that's ahead of them Saturday.
Gregory, see that look on Heupel. He's ready. Dude, he's been ready all year.
Oh, man.
We've said it all year long on this channel. He had a different mind. I think he knew what he had. I think he knew he had an elite defense. And I think he thought his offense was going to be better than it's been. But I think he still sees, hey, we still have, we're right there. We're right there. And I know we've been saying that for weeks. But I think that's the frustration in Heupel. Is I think going into this year, he knew how dang good his defense was, and he thought his offense was going to be better. I think he's had that chip on his shoulder. I think he's had that mindset. I think, you're talking about a guy that came into Oklahoma as a transfer quarterback, coming off a 7-win season, said, we're going to go win a natty. And his teammates, his co-captains are saying, you're nuts. Like, cool, we'll buy into it. We'll believe because whatever, we're going to go. And then they go win a natty. Like, I love that story about Heupel. Let's see. Lee Honda Hilt for 5 says, Dorothy, and thanks for the hype presser, GBO. Dang, man, you're getting aggressive. We gonna whip the whoa. We appreciate it, brother. Angry Titan for 5. The OG of the door fee drops a door fee. We appreciate you, Angry Titan. Look, I got schemes and scams around here. We shield and we promote, but Angry Titan, he's the one that came up with the door fee. I'll just try to enforce it. Orange Sea Lion for member for 15 months says, if you're going Saturday, don't wear neutral colors. Flood the shoe with orange, no black, no smoky gray. Orange. It is an orange out. Wear the orange. I agree with that. Problem is it's cold. A lot of times the jackets, the coats, they're usually black. So wear your orange. I agree with you, Gary. Foul Meaning for 5 says Ryan Day wrecked Ohio State Slay. The Buckeyes can't fly. We following Brew to the shoe. Balls my pity. Thank you, Culberson. Let's hear more.
Josh, for the people that believed in your vision before you had anything to point to, Dylan specifically, what does it mean for them to get to this point, to be in the playoff and to have tangible results of things that they believed in when you had just gotten here and they were coming on board?
Yeah, absolutely. Next step for us as a program, 2 years ago, I think we finished 6th in the country. There's a lot of guys that have been a part of building this. You look at the senior class, guy like Dylan that bought into the vision before there was tangible proof on the field of who we are, what we're about, and how we're going to go play together. And it only happens because of the guys inside of that locker room. It's a room filled of guys that care about the guys around them. They're elite competitors. And, really proud of what they've done, again, to restamp this program.
Got here.
This is why when I watch these pressers, I end up live for an hour, and they're usually 10 minutes. They're 18, so y'all buckle up. Like, I know we talked on Senior Day on the, I think it was the Wednesday night stream we talked about it, the guys that have been a part of this. But just hearing Hype say it, X, the guys that bought in before there was proof on the field, right? Guys like Cooper Mays, guys like Spraggs, like, man, there's so many guys on this football team. Brew McCoy, Like you look at the defensive side of the ball, there are dudes that bought in and believed in Coach Hype before. Like it's easy now. We understand why David Sanders commits, right? We understand why guys want to come here because it's cool to come to Tennessee. But those veterans, those seniors, guys like DeSant, man, it means something that they bought in and they believed in Coach Hype from the beginning.
Right, exactly. Because even, Cooper even said it. He said that, because we know that, whatever the outcome of this playoff game is going to have for us, he even said that he was like, look, he said, I'm glad that I'm about to leave this program what it is now than what it started when he first, like I said, bought in and stuff. Because when Cooper and Spraggs, was here and stuff, like I said, even for those guys, they've seen the dark times of this team, but like I said, they suited up every Saturday, gave their all for Tennessee, and and they went out and ball. So yeah, for them to just buy in is just very, very special, man. And to have Coach Hype just come in and change this whole thing around, it's very, very, very impressive. So
I mean, you're talking about what was it, 43 guys that
43.
tucked tail and ran,
Yep.
that chose the easy way out when the coaching transition happened and Heupel came in. You're talking about guys that stuck with it, and that is the foundation for this turnaround. Those seniors, and yeah, we talked about it on senior day, but that is critical to what Coach Heupel has done and the change in culture and just where we are at this point and the opportunity to be playing in this 12-team playoff right now.
I love that when Hype came in, like he showed you what a leader looks like, right? I've worked for a ton of horrendous bosses in my time in corporate America, and they all come in and none of them lead by example. None of them ask what you need. They come in, they dictate, they tell you what to do, even though they've never worked in your department. They have no idea what the job's about. Heupel comes in the locker room and says, what do you need from me? And I get it. I get what you guys have been through. I've got to earn your trust. But if you buy in, if you believe, if you trust me, I will prove it to you every single day. That's what a leader does.
How many people dogged Heupel when we got reports of, they're doing all this leadership stuff. They're doing these group team building exercises. We're like, oh, that's not football. That doesn't mean anything. You look at where they are right now. You look at the turnaround and how that has been expedited and sped up. That whole process and that turnaround is as a result of Josh Heupel and his leadership at the top and what he brought. Danny White, hats off to him because he said that was the last thing I wanted to do was bring him in, but that was the man for the job. Because he knew what type of coach he had there and what he did for that program. And Coach Heupel has done nothing but grow and evolve as a coach and, right person at the right time.
And then also, too, like I said, as a player, too, like I said, he's a winner. And I just find that very important, too. Now, I know, most coaches that, won natties and championship and stuff, some of them, their coaching careers doesn't turn out to be also great. Not like I said, but for Coach Hype, listen, he's a winner. He knows how to win. And like I said, he loves to win. Like I said, like he's very competitive. And that's what you want to see in the coach.
You do, absolutely. And you get in that locker room. Boogie, you have it in the film at the video, the beginning of your show. It's Dylan Sampson around the team and says, "Who's got my back?"
Yep.
And that is the entire locker room. And I believe that's the mentality that Coach Heupel brought. I got your back. You got my back. Let's go out and win this.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes coaches say that and it's not authentic, but guess what? When you're around somebody enough, you know who has your back and who doesn't and who's out for number one and not a team player. Like you can figure it out real quick. And I think that's why to what X said, like with Heupel being a winner and doing it at an elite level in the college football, Heisman runner-up, national championship winning quarterback, he gets it. And I think he relates with these kids and he knows how to relate with these kids. And that's why he's having the success that he is having. Let me hit a couple more super chats here. Paul the Ball for 10 says there are also people who are not Vol fans that are buying tickets and supporting Tennessee like Michigan. They can be 50% or better in support. Just call me Paul the Rabbit Vol, GBO. Paul, change your name. I'm going to need you to change your name to Paul the Rabbit Vol. I would love to see it. Appreciate it, brother. Jonathan Pretends has got my ticket, got my room. Let's go take over Neyland North. 1-0 when attending a game. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Let's make it 2-0, hoping for 40-60 ratio. Make it less than an away game, more like a neutral site game. I think it's going to be more like 20-30. 20-30 is what I expect, but we'll see. Shout out, Jonathan. Appreciate the super chat, brother. Thank you for the support. Let's hear more from Josh Heupel.
You talked about competing for championships. Now you have an opportunity to do that. For you personally, what is it like to be on this stage and have this opportunity when you think back to where this program was in 21?
Yeah, again, it happens because of your staff and your players all buying into a vision, competing towards that every single day. We've continued to take steps. I'm really proud of everybody that's involved in that. But this is the next step that we had to take as a program. And it's a great opportunity, but now it's about what are you going to do with the opportunity? And it starts long before you get to kickoff. It's preparation and practice the right way to give yourself a chance to go play elite football.
Coach, this probably is an odd question, but do you feel like your roster is set for Saturday? And how crazy is the timing of this entire month?
Okay, that is an odd question. Yes. Obviously, the calendar, the way that it's set up, it's unique. This might be the only sport that operates this way, where, transfer portal, free agency, whatever you want to call it, is right in the middle of your postseason play. But
straight up called it free agency.
Like the roster set. This group's ready to go compete and ready to prepare the right way. They've had really good energy and focus. Last week is we knew who our opponent was going to be, and we could start our preparation and had great energy today as well. What was that? No.
Did y'all hear what Hub said? Nobody that's in the portal will be a part of this team on Saturday. Did you see the response?
Oh yeah.
Like, hold on, let's go back.
Today as well.
And no one who's gone in the portal will be a part, right?
What was that? No.
Any of y'all got
Not
something
even
to
a
say about
question.
that? Go ahead, Nate.
Not
what
even a
are your
question,
thoughts
man.
about that reaction?
I loved it, man. I got to be careful because sometimes I can be a little too harsh.
Dudes, I don't ever. As long as you're not like Coach Rice dropping F-bombs, speak truth.
Oh yeah,
speak
you
truth.
don't have to worry about that. A lot of people differ from my view, man. I'm the kind of person I believe if you do not want to be here, I don't care if you're the best player on our team. If you don't bleed orange and you don't love that power tee, if you don't have that tattooed on your chest, man, I don't want you here. I want you to hit the road. We'll let the next man fill your shoes because I want dogs here. I want the people that love Tennessee and want to do everything for Tennessee. And man, if they're ready to hit the portal, bye. Goodbye. We don't need you.
It's like what Tony V said. You're either a Vol or you're not.
Exactly.
The thing is, though, and I think Boogie said it with Kaner earlier, it makes it tough for these guys that are in a hard spot. And you can't fault them for wanting the best for them. But, to Hype's credit, the way he has handled as a head coach, NIL and the transfer portal, I don't know that you could do it any better. So it is what it is. It's the nature of football right now. And I'm sure that those discussions were had with each of those guys that have put their name into the portal, and that's the best opportunity for them. Does it put us in a bind? Possibly at wide receiver because of depth. But again, it is what it is. Next guy up, opportunity for one Mike Matthews. I think that to me, that's the biggest thing to glean from that.
But what I also like that it states too is that, listen, just because you want to come and play in our offense, and like I said, look, we like to go fast, efficient. We score a lot of points, when we can put it together for 60 minutes. But Josh Hype and this coaching staff set the example too that, listen, you can't just come in here and expect just to see the field just like that. You got to earn it. Like, and that's the mindset that I love that this coaching staff that has for this. And yeah, like I said, it is going to hurt us at the wide receiver group, but like I said, I mean, it's just next man up. And I think, like I said, if our wide receivers step up during this matchup coming up on Saturday and they see what we can put on the field, oh, trust me, we'll fill that spot up really, really quick.
Linebacker too. I mean, Jalen Smith played like, I think Kaner had the number 20, 25 snaps, something like that per game after Keenan Peely went down. Like he would have played in the game on Saturday. He would have played 20 plus snaps. So that he is an impact going into the portal. But the reason I walk on eggshells, and I welcome all opinions, man. That's why, Nate, don't ever feel like you can't voice your opinion. I tell everybody that comes on this channel, you speak truth, you stick to your guns, and we'll have a conversation about it. The only thing I ask, don't come on here dropping F-bombs and don't attack kids. You're not attacking anybody. You're just saying if you're going to the portal, good riddance. The reason I walk on eggshells is because we don't know the conversations being had behind closed doors. And I know this for a fact because Snake's nephew was a punter at Tennessee. He got pulled in the office and said, we don't need you here anymore. Enter the portal. You're cut. That's it. That's the conversation. It's over.
Find a place. Yeah.
Right. Find a place because you're done here. And I think there are conversations being had because of the way college football is now. Look, it costs money to go get a David Sanders, right? It costs money to go get a Nico Iamaleava. It costs money even to go get a Caleb Webb or a Chaz Nimrod. So if you're not producing at the level that I'm paying you for as a top 75 guy, then we have to have a conversation of, okay, and again, I'm making up numbers right here. So don't think I'm completely making up numbers. We recruit Caleb Webb out of high school and I tell him, hey, I'm going to give you $200,000. That's your Spire contract. We're going to give you $200,000 a year. You come in, you underperform, you don't develop the way we expect. So then I pull you in the office and say, hey, I know we paid you $200,000 out of high school. You're not living up to that amount. So this is what now we're going to offer you $100,000. And Caleb Webb goes, I need more than $100,000. So I'm going to jump in the portal and I bet I can get $200,000 out of Wake Forest, or I can get $200,000 out of whoever because they need a wide receiver. So like, we don't always know what's going on behind the scenes is all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's also where you weed out the guys that you look at Tillman, you look at Hyatt, they were underperforming and not, reaching their potential. So they put in the effort in the offseason. And that's what caused them to, transition and evolve into the Biletnikoff winner and the impact players that they were. And that's the difference. It's a choice. Do I chase money or do I put in the work and effort? And I'm not saying that's the be all and end all. And that is the case for any of these guys that have entered the portal. Because you get to this level of football, all these guys want to play. All these guys want to, be an impact player. Most of them were studs in high school, and it's not transitioning to college like they had hoped, like they wanted to. Be it they're over recruited, be it they're whatever. But that's the nature of football. We're living in a day and age where the whole landscape of college football is changing. Really year to year. We've got the playoff this year. We've got, I think there are going to be changes that come along with NIL, that come along with the transfer portal. There's got to be, because it is so difficult to navigate. And that's why I say what Coach Heupel has done, the transition that he's made, NIL and the transfer portal have aided Tennessee and Heupel in this turnaround, but it's also has to do with the way he's navigated it, because it's not been a problem, because it's not created issues in the locker room. And I think his answer to that question right there, it shows that he has a structure and a mindset for how I'm going to deal with the transfer portal. So that's what we're looking at.
This comment too, and this right here goes along to what Kaner said earlier in the show. you got to retain your current roster. Those guys, like, not only is it you're having conversation with guys that aren't living up to their potential, you're having conversations with guys that maybe got on the field as a true freshman. Maybe a guy like a Boo Carter who got on as a true freshman and said, yeah, you're paying me this much. I need now this much. So it is a balancing act, and it's there's so many layers to it.
That's the big. You're not just recruiting kids out of high school. You're not just recruiting the portal. You have to re-recruit your own team.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Every year now.
Every year.
So it's that's, and I know I'm getting off on a tangent. That's why
this is why we can't watch Heupel's
Bill
press conference.
Belichick will be successful.
We're 4 minutes into it.
Bill Belichick will not be successful at North Carolina because all of the things that are involved in coaching college football right now.
Mm-hmm. Be interesting to see, though.
Oh my gosh, why are people so stupid? Get a life. All right.
Oh wow,
Josh, I know you're focused on things on the field, but Tennessee fans have been really enthusiastic to find tickets and to buy tickets to get to this game. Any part of that surprise you that they've managed to find their way into that stadium?
Not with this fan base. It's a nice short drive up there, and Christmas is right around the corner. It's a great Christmas present. So,
so many people are making a big deal about the weather. I'm not sure Ohio State's played any games in 20 degrees either this time of year. Does this temperature-wise look like a South Dakota type winter day?
yeah, it's a June day in South Dakota. It's going to be great football weather.
Hold on a second, Tony. You don't blame me for a prick in the chat. Don't blame me for that. You don't leave the chat because I have to ban an idiot coming in here and saying stuff. Like, don't leave. That has nothing to do with us, anybody on this channel, anybody that's part of this community. That person's been banned and they're gone. So, like, come on, man.
They're creating fake accounts.
It's the internet. Like, I will take care of people that are idiots.
You know, a couple of weeks ago, we played in 30-degree weather. We practiced in the morning, still chill. As cold as it will be around this area, and at the end of the day, you get between the white lines. Weather doesn't matter. The temperature doesn't, and we'll be ready to go play. It'll be a lot of fun.
That Tennessee should just be happy to be in the playoffs. You're playing with house money. What would you say to that narrative that you're
ain't
just
gonna like
happy
that.
to be
Ain't
in
gonna
the
like
playoffs?
that.
And if you're just happy to be there, it's going to be a quick cup of coffee. And so the mindset of this team is get ready to go play our best football. We understand the opponent that we're playing. They got an elite roster, really good coaches, prestigious program. We got to go play good football. It doesn't take anything extraordinary at the same time. It's us doing the ordinary things at a really high level consistently for 60 minutes. And, looking forward to continuing our prep to get ready to go play.
Ben and Rob. Banged up football team coming off of the Vanderbilt win. How much have you all benefited from these last couple of weeks, and how important is it that you all are the more physical football team on Saturday?
Yeah, it typically happens in this league. As you go through all those games, every football team in this league is going to be banged up. Having a couple extra weeks to heal up, I feel like we'll have everybody ready to roll when we get up there. The line of scrimmage is going to be important in this one. It always is in big football games. You got to be able to run the football on the offensive side of the ball defensively. You got to control the line of scrimmage. That's, your first and second level and your safeties in particular. But line of scrimmage will matter. You want to get people into predictable third downs and then be able to rush the passer and get off the field.
You guys got on the cusp of all this 2 years ago, and it felt like it happened so fast with the program. And you talk about your guys just need to do ordinary things at a high level. Do you feel like that this team believes that more than maybe they did 2 years ago, where it happened so fast it was like you had whiplash to get there?
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the locker room had whiplash 2 years ago. But we understand what big games look like, what they feel like, the type of environments that you're going to play in. Certainly understand playing great opponents and, the preparation, I think they have a great understanding of, and then the competitive makeup that you have to have when you get to game day. There's going to be, ups and downs, back and forth, and these types of games and staying consistent, having an elite competitive makeup mindset, really important.
Josh, what's something you've learned about Nico over the course of his first season starting for you?
I just think his ability to reset and go play the next play, next drive, next half, his ability to continue to grow and compete throughout the course of the football game. As a young quarterback, that's really hard to do. He's done a really good job of that.
Two things there. Hold on. Let me hit these super chats real quick. A little spooky for 2 says Dorothy GBO. Happy almost B-Day. Jesus. Man, it's crazy. What is it? It's a week from tonight. A week from that is insane, man. By the way, here's the deal. Saturday, Tennessee goes out, takes care of business. We're going to do a fan call-in show on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. If for some godforsaken reason we lose on Saturday, I'm playing EA Sports College Football on Sunday night. I need a chill stream. I'm going to need some bourbon and a chill night. That's what we're going to do. So if Tennessee loses, EA Sports College Football, because Christmas Eve is on a Tuesday, so I'm not streaming Tuesday night. We're not streaming Wednesday night. So if Tennessee wins, we'll do the fan call-in show. I'll figure out EA Sports College Football. If they lose, we're going to play some college football. We're going to drink our sorrows away on Sunday night. Dave Morrison for 2 says, I wonder when trades will be implemented in college football. I don't know. God bless America. Is that going to happen? What I want to talk about here real quick. We got 10 minutes to go. Should we just wrap it? Let's just wrap it. Let's just wrap it right here. Let's wrap it with this. We'll bleed this into Nico talk because he talked about the environment, right? The environment at Ohio State. He talked about Nico, how he's developed, how he's grown. Where's your quarterback at? And I don't think the moment's ever too big for Nico. Like, I think we saw going on the road, Nate, to play Georgia. I don't think Nico was phased. I think he was cool, calm, collected. What are your thoughts on Nico? Where he started, because he started hot, and I get it, level of competition. Then we saw him kind of go down for whatever reason, and then I feel like he's been climbing back up ever since and getting better every week.
Yeah, I agree. I believe he's been getting better. There was that decline that we saw, but, man, y'all just go with me in your mind if you can. Okay, we had those high expectations, and us as Vol fans, we set the bar way too high. And I was one of them. I put it up there, man. I thought we were doing, but still, guys, we set the bar that high, and we were expecting Nico to play. We are still 10-2. We didn't lose as bad as we could have in those situations. So did Nico have some bad games? Yeah, but he still led this team, and with the help of Dylan Sampson, with the help of our defense, with all these other issues. But Nico is only going to get better. It's like the fine wine; it's going to get better with age, man. And this is not just a one and done in college football playoff. With Nico at the helm, I believe, man, that it's going to be better next year. So.
Oh yeah, because like you said, Dave, like I said, like when you said like we set the bar really, really high, because yeah, trust me, like I was one of them too, and I know coaches, preach Nico all off season and everything, but something in the back of my mind was saying it was like he's still a freshman, you know what I'm saying, and we got to kind of remind ourselves of that. Like I said, well, I'm not saying like I said Nico's terrible now, like that. Like you said, we're 10-2. I mean, if he was terrible, we wouldn't be at 10-2. But we always have to keep that mindset. It's like he's going to be great, and he's going to get even better, and he's going to be even greater next year. But it's like he's still a freshman, so you got to keep that in mind. But even and then like I said, then even kind of really just that Alabama game though, because like I said, when we kind of seen him kind of decline just a little bit. But I don't know, man. Like, because something I was talking to some of my friends about it. But during that Alabama game, when we all had. Of course, that miniature heart attack, I said when he got licked and his head bounced off the turf and he came walking off the field, something clicked in Nico, and then he just started balling out in the second half. So, but as far as like his demeanor and his attitude, the kid's as cool as a cucumber. I mean, and that's what you want definitely in the quarterback, definitely going into a big hostile environment, big road games. I mean, that's what you want.
You got to have it, man, because, then I don't mean to interrupt anything, but like, man, we had Joe Milton. And if we're fighting the same way we're fighting this year with Joe, and I'm not bashing Joe, I'm not meaning to throw pins and darts and everything else, but, I don't see us being at the same record with the games that we played with Joe at the helm. I think Nico did what he had to do, and I think he was a good leader for what we needed. And like I said, it's just going to get better, man.
I'm laughing because Coach Jay put this, whatever reason, inside baseball, man, inside baseball. I texted Coach Jay right as this comment came through. Sorry, inside baseball secrets. I got secrets around here. Anyway, let's talk about Tennessee, Ohio State. Let's go quick. Let's wrap this thing up. Let's tie a big fat bow on what was a great, man, this has been a great Wednesday night show. We could have stayed live for another hour, but some of us got to go to, man, my daughter got a flat tire coming from school today, and it was like right as I needed to come down here and start working, and I'm like, I got to get in the car. I got to go fix this. It's pouring rain. And my wife's like, I'll go get her. She got to a safe spot, park the car. Let's just leave the car there. You can deal with it tomorrow. I'm like, oh man, my wife's Miss Boogie's. She's the GOAT. She's the GOAT. Cause I'm like, Dad's got to go fix this. And she's like, no, I'll go pick her up. You go work. You go take care of Talkin VAWLS. I'll take her to school tomorrow and we can go deal with it then. I'm like, that's a winner chicken dinner. So let's wrap the show up. Dauber, we'll kick it off. Let's keep this brief, like 60 seconds or less. Keys to the game, prediction, all that good stuff.
Hey, you're blessed with Miss Boogie.
She's the GOAT, man. She's the GOAT.
Blessed.
She's the rider.
All right. So I'm going to try to keep it short and sweet. Minimize mistakes. Protect the football. Got to get pressure on Will Howard. Got to get, not just pressure, got to get home a couple times. Make him make mistakes. Don't allow him to get comfortable, sit in the pocket, and get the ball to their dynamic playmaker wide receivers. You do that, you get pressure on him, he's prone to make mistakes. We force some mistakes, capitalize on them. Nico, can continue the progression that he's been having towards the end of the year. I think that's good. That sets up what this team's identity is, and that's D-Samp and the defense. Dylan Sampson and this defense, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be tight. For me, the magic number is 20. Okay? The magic number is 20. I think we've got to keep Ohio State under 20, and we've got to go over 20. And I think we scrape by it, and we're hitting 21, and Ohio State's going to be at 13.
How many teams, Dauber, have broken that 20-point number against us?
One.
What do you think that one team would do if they played Ohio State?
They'd get ran out of whatever stadium they were playing in.
Ohio State would? Or Georgia would? You think Ohio State runs Georgia out?
No. Vandy scored over 20.
Did they?
Yeah.
Man, I completely ruined that. Georgia scored 20. Georgia scored 20 on Tennessee, right?
Did they?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're true professionals around here. What are we doing?
We had two then.
I didn't even count. Vanderbilt because that game was irrelevant to me. I knew that was a dub. It's Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's beating Ohio State.
20 is the magic number. We're getting over it. Ohio State's getting
I'm sorry, Dauber. I ruined your entire bit. All right, Nate, jump in here. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man. I see us going in. Like I said, it honestly could go either way. I'm having a head and heart issue right now. I love Tennessee, so my heart is saying that we're going to go in and we're going to take care of business. But oddly enough, I believe it can go either way on the scores. I believe that we're going to go for a hard game. Like it's either going to be a low score, it's either going to be done in the trenches, or I'm saying that we're going to go 27-24 type victory. And when I pick 27-24, that's where my head and my heart issue comes, because I do believe that Tennessee can. It's going to depend on the mentality, and it's going to depend on if we have that fight Saturday night, because if we don't have the fight, we're going to lose. I'm sorry to say it. I'm just going to throw it out there and be honest. If we don't have that fight, if we don't carry it to them, and we let that crowd get into the scenario of this game, it's going to be tough. But I say Vols 27, Ohio State 24. That's what I'm going to stick with.
Go ahead, X.
All right. Just like saying Dauber said earlier, like saying, look, we got to play clean football, man. That offensive line, you can't shoot yourself in the foot. Having like saying these stupid, offside penalties, false starts, all that. There's no time for that. No time for that at all. Definitely with the O-line, you got to keep Nico up on his feet. Keep him up on his feet, and then do what we talked about during the regular season. Even if you have to roll the pocket to where move the pocket to where Nico can roll out to make plays with his feet, do that as well. So I'm pretty sure we're definitely going to open up the whole SEC playbook on Ohio State. They don't even know what's coming. And then definitely with the run game, Dylan Sampson, he's been great. He's been our leading rusher in our conference, but there's been 4 games that he's fumbled the football when we've been hot going down the first drive, and you cannot do that, brother. You can't do that. I love you, and we know that, like saying, you're going to give it your all, and you're going to have a great game, but, brother, you can't be just causing mistakes like that, and I think he knows that, and he's ready for that. Our wide receivers, they definitely got to step up and make plays now. They've been great all year, but whenever we have a deep shot, whenever that opportunity comes open, you gotta make those plays. You're going to have to. And like I said, I already know that the defense is going to come. They're going to bring it. James Pierce is going to eat that whole defensive line. And then as far as like saying our cornerbacks, you have Ohio State's wide receivers. They're 2 good wide receivers on the outside. Listen, have them go one-on-one, like saying with Jamal McCoy and Gibson on the outside. Good luck trying to beat those guys. So because those guys have done really, really good. So with all that being said, my score prediction is, listen, I got 30-24 Vols. So hopefully that'll be on my Christmas wish list, and Brother Claus will be sitting here very happy on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
By the way, shout out Mike Strange. Appreciate you becoming a member of the channel. If you're not a member, you can fix that. Hit that join button down below. Just $1. We appreciate it. Thank you, Mike, for the support. I have no idea who I'm picking right now. I don't have a score. I'm Nate. You nailed it, man. By the way, shout out Charles Patty for becoming a member of the channel. Let's get a membership rally going. If you don't have a Power T beside your name, fix it. Maybe you guys will direct my prediction. Maybe you guys are gonna get a little pep in my step because I'm so much. Shout out Charles. We appreciate you, brother. Nate, you picked Tennessee and you lied. You lied. I don't think you think Tennessee's gonna win. I think you predicted Tennessee because we're on the Talkin VAWLS network. Am I wrong?
You're very wrong. This is one thing you'll never, ever see me do. I can't stand a liar, and I won't be a liar. I do believe that Tennessee can do it. I believe they will do it if they show up to fight.
That's the thing. Can Tennessee win? I still have no idea who I'm picking. Can Tennessee win? Yes, they can. I think there are so many matchups that favor Tennessee here. The ability to run the football, the ability to live on defense and get after the quarterback. Having Kaner break down the offensive line for Ohio State and the injuries and the opportunity that Tennessee has. But it's the what ifs, right? That's what I can't get past. That's why I cannot pick this game, Nate. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will say though, according to the press conference we just saw, Heupel said, if you're just here and you're just glad that we made it, he said, it's going to be a short cup of coffee. That right there, out of a Talkin VAWLS cup. It's going to be a short cup of coffee. He said, but we're coming ready to play. So in saying that, I believe Heupel's going to have this team ready to play. That's where my hope lies, is that Tennessee is going to come out and we're going to stomp them. And but once we do, we cannot let up. We can't have a quarter that we can't have a Vanderbilt game where we go up and lose and we're 14-0 in the first quarter. Cannot happen. We have to step on it, the gas pedal all the way down.
I don't think we have ever done the prediction segment and it been therapy like this. I feel like Nate is talking me through this. I just feel like Tennessee, They have the opportunities. They have the matchups, the defensive line versus the offensive line. This entire game for me, it doesn't hinge on showing up. It doesn't hinge on 60 minutes. It hinges on aggression. We have not seen this team be aggressive. And we go back to that quote from Nico. Oh, we got to learn to put our foot on their throat. And that's against an inferior opponent. I don't remember if it's Chattanooga or who the heck it was. An inferior opponent. He's like, oh, we got to learn to put our foot on their throat. Did we ever learn that? I don't know that we ever learned that. And here I sit. I'm like, we've not done it all year long. We need Tim Banks to be aggressive. We need Joey Halsley or Josh Heupel, whoever's got the play sheet in their hand, to be aggressive. If they do that, Tennessee wins. If Tim Banks is aggressive, Tennessee wins. If they get after the quarterback, if they dial up the blitzes, if they live or die, I don't care about Ohio State's NFL wide receivers. I don't freaking care. Jamal McCoy, Ricky Gibson, they're dudes. Put them on an island.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep, exactly.
Put them on an island. Say, go cover this man one-on-one, and we're going to get after the quarterback. If we
Two
do
interceptions come Saturday night.
If we do that, we win. If we get aggressive on offense, we win. And it's kind of a weird thing to say, aggressive on offense. Nico needs to hit his checkdowns. Everything doesn't need to be over the top, deep shot, 80-yard touchdown. Hit your checkdowns, move the football. Aggressive, meaning Nico has to run the football. If Nico runs the football, if Nico keeps it, designed runs 8 times, we win this football game.
You keep their defense honest, and you stretch the field, and then open up Dylan Sampson running and pounding that ball. If Nico can offensively control the game and, like you said, hit the checkdowns, so they're not able to stuff the box, then that's going to allow Sampson to do what he does, what he did all year in SEC football. And listen, I think that there's my word. Listen.
One more thing.
My
prediction.
I think
everybody's talking in my prediction. I love it.
I think Dylan Sampson and this team, they've got a little bit of piss and vinegar in them because of the lack of respect to what Dylan Sampson has done this year.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
I still have no idea who I'm picking. Let me tell you
I
something.
think you put all that together, and I think if Nico can do what Nico can do, that allows Dylan Sampson to do what he can do.
But you know what I keep hearing? If Tim Banks shows up, if Nico does this,
win, Boogie, when that happens.
All right.
All right.
Here's the deal. Can Tennessee beat Ohio State? Yes. Will they beat Ohio State? I don't know. You're going to have to tune in Friday morning, 10 a.m., right here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. I will give my official prediction for Diver, for good old Nate Pruitt, for the X Factor, for, what'd you call yourself? Brother Claus.
Yeah, Brother Claus.
My name's Boogie Bentley. Be here Friday morning, 10 a.m., and I will give you my official prediction. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. Go Big Orange.
That we call